What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Nerd Talk with ShonnyDman if you're listening on podcast. And again, welcome back if you're watching on YouTube. Glad to have you guys back with another episode. I am joined by another new guest. I hope you guys are excited for this as much as I am. So please, for those who are watching and are listening, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Jamie. I am everywhere. I do cosplay online. I do streaming sometimes. But mostly I'm just really into like the show is called Nerd Talk. I am a self-described nerd.
So as per usual, and I tell everybody this almost every episode. Uh, the guests that I have on are people that I have never met before. So just think I came across your account on Instagram. I think it was a photo of you dressed as in a Spider-Man cosplay, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me check this out. So I
Yeah.
messaged her, and we've been communicating ever since then. So I'm very glad that she's able to come on. And like she said, she does love to cosplay. I love her cosplays. If you guys, we'll definitely have to go check her out once this is over. So let's start with your streaming because the other night,
Oh
actually, I think it was
yeah.
like, what was this last week? I think you streamed.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You were streaming. What were you streaming?
I was streaming the God of War, the one
Okay,
from oh gosh, when did that come out? Just a few years ago, but
right. Yeah, I was watching, and you were having a tough time.
so I started that game. I guess I should have started it years ago, to be honest, but I
Mm,
started it months ago. I'm talking about back in the beginning of the year. And then for some reason, just like life came up and I just put it down for months. So you caught me. This is my excuse. You caught me after 5 months of not playing the game, not remembering any of the controls. Yeah, that's my excuse. I'm gonna stick to that one.
I was watching, and I was just sitting there just thinking, like, I was like, man, she's getting just wrecked by these random encounters for some reason. I was like, what is she doing?
It's embarrassing. I know. That was not fun. It was
I
fun for like me to play, but
right.
not fun to think about hindsight.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I was just like, so I watched for a very good bit. So are you going to get back into like streaming more often, or is that just kind of a spur of the moment?
um, it's definitely I never had a schedule when I did streaming. It was always just I kind of feel like doing it right now. Um, But it was a lot of fun, actually, even with the struggle. It was fun to do. It was fun to be able to talk to people. I think that's what I really like about streaming is
Mhm.
I'm doing something that I like, but I'm also getting to have that connection with people I normally don't. Like normally, I'm most active on Instagram and that's either comments or DMs and that's not enough to get to know a personality of a person and I don't know. I like meeting people.
Right.
So, streaming is a good avenue for something like that.
Oh yeah. And so and that's one of the things when it comes to nerd talk is when I decided to do this, I decided that I wanted to use it for more meeting and building new relationships with people.
Yeah.
Um, and listen, I have met some great people, including yourself. I've met great people throughout this is I believe episode 15 at this point, and so it's been quite a journey for sure doing this.
Definitely.
And
Mhm.
hopefully, because currently right now I'm in the process of building a new computer. So
Oh,
hopefully
wow.
my plan is to for 2023 um, to bring live streaming to my YouTube channel. So I'm very excited to get that going.
Oh
But
my
it's
gosh. Yeah,
it's
that'll be fun.
it's a process building a computer right now. So
Oh, yeah. I've watched people build computers. I have friends that have done it. I'm a console gamer myself, so it's not something in my future, but it also just looks very stressful. I guess just a really complex puzzle.
yeah, very much so. So you play God of War. What are some other games that you've played?
Oh gosh. I've been playing games since I was very young. I'm 26 years old,
Okay.
but I have two older brothers and they're very into video games. So I remember even just like watching my oldest brother play Final Fantasy VII on the
Okay.
PS1. So that was, and even my dad is very into gaming. He's very into MMO stuff, but I just grew around that environment. So gaming is something that's just been a constant for me throughout my life. But that being said, um, I wish I had a top five favorite games,
Mm,
but honestly, like Final Fantasy VII, The Last of Us is probably my favorite game. There's always potential
okay.
for things to shift around. Um, but yeah, I just love games. I love story games,
All right.
especially Witcher 3. That's a great game too.
I have not played that yet.
Oh my gosh. It actually took me a really long time to play, and I started it and stopped it probably three or four times before I actually got into it and was able to finish it all the way through. But that's an incredible game. Just the world building they did in that is crazy.
So I have always, when growing up, like I always played games that I wanted to play. I was never interested in a lot of some of these games until I really started to get more involved with my YouTube channel, and I started to play games that I never
Right.
played before. So just like earlier this year, I played the entire remake of Resident Evil,
Oh,
and I
fun.
loved it. I was just like, oh man, this is such a good game, and because and I was really surprised about it. Because I've never was a Resident Evil fan. Like I watched the movies, but I never played the games. And then I
Oh
saw
yeah.
it. I think it was on sale on PlayStation, and I bought it. I was like, okay, let me just give this a try. And then I was like, okay, this is actually pretty fun. I'm actually enjoying this. So I'm very so there's that. I love Skyrim. Um,
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Skyrim is definitely a game that I don't mind playing over and over just because it's just so fun.
Right.
Um, see, I don't have like a top the Arkham series. I do enjoy
Okay.
those. I think I enjoyed Marvel's Spider-Man. That was very fun.
Oh, that one was amazing. That was so good.
And then I'm doing Miles Morales right now. That playthrough is going on right now. And
Yeah.
then some other good games. There were some games that like again I never thought I would enjoy just because I'm very picky about my games. And
Oh, really?
yeah, I am. I just like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. I would never be interested in playing those games when I was younger.
Why?
I,
Yeah.
but now that I'm older and I'm doing this, those are on my list of games to play at some point. Are those two particular games? My friend Tiffany, she loves Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. So
Yeah. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was the first game that I sat through myself and played fully um by myself. So I've got a really strong connection to Kingdom Hearts as well.
and so switching over from video games to your cosplays, how long have you been doing that?
Yeah. Oh gosh. So technically, so my first cosplay was I was probably 12 or
Okay.
13. That was my very first cosplay, and it was for the anime Fruits Basket. It was a main character in that anime. Um, and that was also my very first like anime convention that I went to. I all the time I get asked like how did you get into cosplay? And I honestly could not tell you. I don't remember where I saw it.
Hmm,
I just remembered that I did see it and I liked it, so I went for it.
okay.
I probably thought it was like really pretty. It was really cool. So I did that. But there was never anything really consistent. I feel like it was every so often, like every 2 years, I remember like, oh, I really like cosplay. I should do that more often. So I would do another one. And then same thing. I would just kind of like let it be, never get really into it because it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so then it would happen again. I would see a convention. I'd be like, oh, I should really cosplay to that. But about 2 years ago, I got back into it with a Lady Loki cosplay, and I went to New York Comic Con with that one.
Oh,
And I think that was for some reason that was just a turning point where I was like, oh my God, I like really love this hobby. And I never really let myself have like a moment in it and get into it and start like building more things, learning new skills for it. And so I guess 2 years is when I really, really got into the hobby.
Okay. Okay. Um, what's your favorite cosplay that you've done up to this point?
Um, I probably my Lady Loki. I feel
Okay.
like that one for me, I've talked to other Loki cosplayers too, and there's something about that character
Hmm.
that just like shifts something in you. It just gives you this weird power. So I really love the way that I feel in that one, but also it's just I think I'm a very sentimental person, so that one being the one to get me where I am now
Mm,
means a lot to me. But it's just yeah, that one. That one's a
right.
fun one.
So what was this before or after the Disney Plus series Loki?
This was before,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Disney that one came out what did that come out last year?
12.
Oh, I guess it might have been after. Because now I'm trying to remember. I feel like I did see a lot
I
of
think
other
I think
Loki
that series came
cosplayers.
out during 2020.
It might have just come out like earlier in the year
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, I think it came out
Um,
in 2020.
it must have, yeah. So it was in the same vicinity, but
Right.
my cosplay actually is based off of the comics Lady Loki. Um, So
Oh, okay.
I do love this series,
Right.
but it's not a Sylvie and it's not any of the other variants.
Oh no, I got you. I got you. And then you have, let me see, I seen your Wednesday Adams
Yes, that
cosplay.
one was on a whim. I had a friend tell me like, "Oh my God, you would probably do a really good Wednesday." I'm like, "Okay,
Did you
bet."
did you enjoy the show?
I did. It's obviously I sometimes I feel so old saying this, but it's obviously not for my age range, but it was a lot of fun. It's like one of those things to pop on and you're like, "Oh yeah, I
Oh
can get
yeah,
into
yeah,
this."
definitely, yeah, yeah. It was a very good show. I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah.
I forgot it was coming out until I was just scrolling on Netflix and I saw it was out. I said, okay, let me check
Yeah.
this out, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. And
It's
then let's
fun.
see, you also have your Cara Dune from the Mandalorian
Yes.
cosplay.
Yes.
Looks that one looks great. I think out of all of, I mean, I like all of them. I really like that one, and I love your Spider Man or Spider Woman cosplay with the black symbiote suit. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm
No,
trying to think of
definitely.
the other.
I love Cara Dune. That was the first one that I really made at least 90% myself. I
Okay.
never sewed before that one. So that was a lot of fun. I never made armor, worked with foam before. And I'm just a really big Star Wars fan. So that's kind of my ode to my love to Star Wars.
Okay. I mean, listen, I growing up, I think Star Wars was probably the first thing that got me down this nerd path. Um,
Really?
yes, because I was old enough to so I came out in during I was like let's see 92 is when I was born, so a little bit after the original trilogy had came out,
Mhm.
but I remember seeing it a few times on TV, thought it was cool, and then the prequels came out, and that's when I really started to get into Star Wars, and then
Right.
it's just been a roller coaster ride ever since.
Oh
I
yeah.
love Star Wars. Like I love Andor. I thought that was
Oh yeah,
a very
definitely.
good show. Um, Probably better than Kenobi. Um,
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
I'm trying to think if there's another Star Wars show. There's another one that came out. There was Kenobi, Andor. See, Tales of the Jedi. That one was good.
There was Boba Fett and then Mandalorian. I
The
think
Book of
that's the only
Boba
Disney
Fett
Plus
was
ones.
that one was fine. Um, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I thought, but I still would probably put Andor above from a live action standpoint. I would probably put Andor above Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett, but I'll probably
Hmm.
still put Mandalorian above Andor. So
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that list. I'm like one of those Star Wars fans that just loves Star Wars.
you're right.
I know within like the community, there's like so much like I don't know why there's so much hate for everything Star Wars, even though we're all really big fans. Um, but I'm definitely one of those that I just love anything in the universe. I I liked the last trilogy they did.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, I actually did. I'm not saying I defend all of the
Right,
choices that were made. I
right.
think there was a lot of things that could have been so much better. But sitting in the theater, watching at home, like I really enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yeah, definitely. I really I enjoyed it. Yeah, like you said, there's things about it that could have been better. Um, but it was I still enjoy it. And then there was also the Han Solo movie that was fine.
Oh yeah,
Um, I know people complain about the actor, but that played Han Solo.
right,
But I
right.
mean, it was for what it was. It was a pretty good film. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's probably more fan service than anything else, just because.
No, it definitely was.
And then my favorite by far is Rogue One. Um, I mean, my favorite. I mean, it's not a. It's obviously I put the original trilogy at the top, but Rogue One is clearly a fourth for me. Because growing up, you would
Really?
always see the like was kind of like the star part of Star Wars, but you never really got the war
Right.
part. And Rogue One, I mean, a little bit of Attack of the Clones did it, and Revenge of the Sith at some points, but Rogue One really did the whole dark and gritty aspects of war, and I was like, I really love it. They did a good job with that movie. That's where I kind of was so excited to see Andor.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So what about Marvel? What's your favorite Marvel
Oh
movie?
wow.
I mean, there's a lot. So
Oh yeah, by this point, that's hard. Because I am a really big Marvel fan. Even growing up, I read the comics and everything. Um, I have a sentimental connection to Captain America.
really,
Um, I do, yeah, because he was my dad's favorite superhero
okay.
growing up, so he's just always been like a constant in my life. So when I see Captain America, I think more of like my dad than anything. Um, I'm trying to think like personally, I just love them all. I'm a really, really big fan of pretty much all the Marvel movies. There's obviously been hits or misses as well
Mm.
as the hits. Um, but like anyone that comes out, I'm in the theater. I'm watching. I'm enjoying most of it.
I know, definitely. Yes, as far as the misses, obviously, Thor: The Dark World was a miss to me.
Oh yeah. That's
Um,
whenever anyone asks like what's my least favorite? Thor Dark World.
yep,
No question.
and I wasn't that high on Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm.
Um, that's just my own personal thing. I think there's just some. It was just too comical, and
Yeah, no, I definitely could see a lot of people's criticism with it. I think it could have been better. I personally did enjoy it. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7.
okay, that's yeah,
Um, yeah, like I enjoyed it.
right,
I definitely didn't go out and be like, wow, that was a waste of time.
right, yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
definitely understand.
there's some good things about the movie. It's just the direction of it kind of didn't really
Right.
hit well with me. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. And then out of Phase 4, did you like the? What did you think about the Marvel shows?
Oh my gosh. I've watched them all, pretty sure. I honestly I really enjoyed all of them. I think the one that I was the least excited for was She-Hulk. And I think that was probably it was in my top three at least. I really enjoyed that show. I think I think the direction that they went with it was different than I thought they would have, and
Mm-hmm.
that part was entertaining to see it unfold the way it did. And I think A lot of people didn't really like the breaking the third wall so often, but I kind of thought that made it exciting. That was kind of fun
Right. I mean,
to
yeah,
be
because I think
involved.
Deadpool does the same thing at times. So
Right. No,
especially in
exactly.
the last episode of She-Hulk, where like you thought your screen froze and she just jumps out of it. And I thought that
Yeah.
was really clever and that was really cool. I thought we were going to see a lot more of that, but
Hmm.
it was very cool to see that.
No,
Um,
definitely.
what about see? Because I enjoyed like She Hulk was fine. It's not on my top list of favorite Marvel shows that's come out, but it was an average show to me. But I mean, I like some
Hmm.
good aspects about it for sure. I really enjoyed Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Um, Moon Knight was fine.
Oh,
I
I
so
love Moon
it
Knight.
the well, like the thing about it is, it's like with these shows. See, I grew up and I never really read the comics, so some of these characters I
Yeah.
only known about. See, maybe like video games and TV shows. And Moon Knight and Miss Marvel were two. She Hulk a little bit, but Moon Knight and Miss Marvel were two of those characters where I knew nothing about them. So
Right.
my thought process and expectation of these characters was very low because I knew nothing about them, and so I mean I enjoyed both series, but I really enjoyed Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Really? Okay. I mean, I really enjoy that too. I think so. I didn't know anything about Moon Knight. She-Hulk, not much outside of just what anyone else would have known of her. Miss Marvel was the one that I think I had the most knowledge going into because I played the Avengers game, the Square Enix game that came out not too
That was
long
an
ago.
okay game.
It was an okay game.
So, I mean, I played
But
it too, and I was just kind of
it
like,
made me enjoy Kamala enough to give the show a chance. And
right.
I did enjoy the show. I think the villain in that show could have been a little bit better, but it was a fun one.
And see, and then from the movie aspect of Phase Four, um, I think out of all of them, I think we got up to this point. I'm gonna exclude Far From Home here a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that one out. I would say out of all the Phase Four movies up to this point, I would say Shang Chi is probably my favorite.
I'm trying to remember all of them that were in phase four.
I think
Yes,
there
I agree with that.
the Eternals.
Oh
The
yeah,
Eternals was fine.
it was fine.
I just
I
think
didn't hate it. I feel like a lot of
right,
people hated it,
right. I mean, I
but
didn't
it
hate it.
was
It
very
was fine.
okay.
It was just maybe too many characters in that movie that kind of
Right.
messed it up for me.
I think that was its biggest downfall is that there were so many characters and you never got a chance, even the more main ones, you never really got a chance to connect to
Right.
them. So you didn't really care about what happened.
Yeah, exactly. It was just yeah. Let's see who it was. It was Black Widow. That was fine, but that's a movie that should have came out years before than what it
Oh
did.
yeah, I agree. I actually really enjoy Black Widow. But I agree. It definitely
Because it really there's no
wow, that
point
should have
because
came
we
out
you
like 5 years
know what
ago.
happens to her. It's just,
Right.
I mean, I can understand if they did it for Scarlett Johansson just to you know just for thanks for doing everything for us for Marvel and all that. But again, it should have came out years
Right.
ago. Um, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed that one. A lot of people didn't
Hmm.
like it because it didn't feel like a Marvel movie, but I was okay with that.
Yeah.
That was fine with me. Uh,
That one, I feel like I think it's hard because didn't that come out right after Far From Home?
that one came out. Yes. Well, no. That one came out before Far From Home. I'm pretty. Yeah, I
Did
think.
it?
Well,
I thought Far From Home came
they
out like
they
November.
shifted the dates around a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Well, either way, I think because of the close vicinity for release of those, I'm pretty sure they're back to back. I don't remember who was first, but it was just the expectations I had for Doctor Strange,
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just too high.
Oh,
So
and
then
yeah.
the movie was okay. I did enjoy the movie. I liked a lot of the aspects from it. But I put myself in a position to be
Uh,
disappointed.
I don't think you're the only one. I think that was a lot of the things that I was seeing people talk about is don't go into this movie with high expectations because it's
Yeah.
not what you think it is. And so I took that in mind and I watched it. I was like, but for me, I was like, this is okay. I mean, it's directed by Sam Raimi. It's
Right.
and it was and it felt like a Sam Raimi movie. And
Yeah,
so
it
that's why
did.
I'm okay with it. So it wasn't a big deal to me that the decision or the route that they went. I thought it was fine. At least for me, it was fine.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
what else was there? There was oh man, did they have a lot of movies?
Um, there was, oh my God, what just came out? Black Panther just came out. Was
Oh
that
yeah,
Phase 4
Wakanda
still?
Forever. That one, that one was fine. I don't.
Yeah.
I. It's hard trying to. It's trying to hard to describe it.
Yeah.
It was fine. It's. I love Namor as a character. Love him.
Hmm.
Very much loved him. But the
Right.
movie as a whole, it was just okay. Like I think I I wasn't going in to like be emotionally upset because we obviously you don't
Hmm.
know of a Chadwick Boseman's passing or anything like that. Oh,
Exactly.
get out of here. But they do such a good job of kind of the thing about Wakanda Forever that I loved was how they showed the different perspectives of people and how they handle grief and loss differently. And I thought they did that a
Right.
very good job. But the movie was just okay to me. Like I wasn't expecting to go in there crying. Uh, Now, when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 come out, I'll probably will cry in that one.
Yeah.
But it was fine. I was fine with Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I agree.
Trying to think, what was some other ones? Let's see. WandaVision, loved it.
WandaVision. Yeah,
Mm,
that was one I wasn't sure what to expect because I don't know about anybody else, but going into WandaVision,
mm,
I was not emotionally or anything connected to Wanda or Vision.
right.
So it really wasn't something that interested me per se, but it was the first, Disney Plus show for Marvel that came out. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But that one was really good. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the best thing about WandaVision, honestly, was it kind of like because we had that year of COVID, so there was nothing Marvel
Mhm.
coming out. So we had a year
Right.
break from Marvel, and then WandaVision came out, and it felt like a breath air. Like it felt
Yeah.
new because we were just getting Marvel back to back years, and then we have this one year that we don't get anything, and then we jump back into it, and it felt great watching Marvel again. Because people,
Right.
understandably, you can get burned out from watching Marvel just because.
Oh yeah, there's so much.
So, but I was talking about because and I think that's what people's a whole issue with Phase 4 is that it didn't feel connected, and it just felt there's too much coming out at once. But like honestly, if you think about it, you can't really spend another 10 years building up like you did with Phase 1. And
Right.
so, because Iron Man, the original Iron Man came out when I was like a sophomore in high school. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then see, Endgame came out 2019. So I was like
Hmm.
26, 27 at that point. So I mean, but oh
I
well.
think my biggest question is with all of these shows now, do they tie in? Do they not? Are they the separate thing? Because some of them do. It's clear that some of them do tie in and have,
Mm-hmm.
but like like I guess like things like Moon Knight. I guess Moon Knight was one that I was really wondering, like, are we ever going to see Moon Knight in a movie or a
Right.
mention of Moon Knight anywhere? I really loved Moon Knight, clearly.
So, no, I understand. It was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it as well. Um, but yeah, so but we're going to have to discuss more about this, and so definitely. But guys, I think that is about the time for us to wrap this up with this episode of Nerd Talk. For those listening or watching, Jamie, tell us how they can follow you.
Yeah, definitely. So my name on pretty much everything is Jamie Bear Fancy Pants. Just a fun name. I've
I was very
carried that
curious
name with
about
me
that name. I
for
was just like, why is that?
uh okay, to make the story very short, there was this flash game when I was very young, like in the grade school, called The Adventures of Fancy Pants. It was literally on like addictinggames.com. It was one of those Adobe Flash games. And then I had my friends that called me Jamie Bear. So for some reason, it mashed up Jamie Bear Fancy Pants, and it's just been that way since I've literally been 8 years old. So Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, all of those Jamie Bear Fancy Pants.
Okay. Love it. And you and so you guys be sure to go give her a follow. She does great content work. Definitely we'll be having her on. Maybe we'll plan to do some video games together next year. That might be interesting
Oh, that'd be
to
fun.
work out as
Yeah.
well. Um, and so guys, getting ready, close. It's the holiday. This is Christmas week. Um, I'll be posting another Nerd Talk solo episode next week. Um, and then I will be taking 2 weeks off to just recharge and get ready for the 2023 year. I also will have a video up detailing everything that's coming in 2023 that I think you guys will enjoy as much as me. But be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, follow Instagram. You guys know the drill. But other than that, you guys have a great week. Have a great Christmas with your family. And I will catch you guys later in another episode. See ya.